What's up, everybody? Well, I got another gameplay video for you guys today. And today, we're going to finish up Spider-Man Miles Morales at 4K on my main computer here. 13900 KF and an RTX 4090 MSI Gaming Trio GPU. So, pretty much all there is to say about this. It's a big Chungus 2.0, and let's jump right in and have a look at some settings. Well, alright, let's start Miles Morales on the main computer here. We're going to be playing at 4K, and we're going to start off on very low, and we'll do DLSS frame generation and upscaling at the end. And I'm just going to leave TAA on the whole fucking time, because this thing is an absolute monster. You should be able to handle it no matter what. And honestly, nobody's really going to play this game very low on a computer like this, but I just do this on the rest of my computers, so I like being thorough. Alright, into the game we go. And I always forget how quiet this one records for whatever reason. I gotta remember to boost the hell out of the game volume when I go into recording this. Anyway though, playing fucking awesome. We're getting 135, 140 FPS. Damn, all the way up to 155 at 4K even. I know it's very low, but still. It's still at 4K.
Zero legal authority to parade around in a Halloween costume pretending to be some kind of saint.
Hey, you in the earlier parts of this game were dressing up as Santa Claus, trying to pretend to be the savior of the city of bad-talking me, so get the F out of here with that bullshit logic.
It doesn't even matter if he thinks it matters. Every time something gets destroyed in this city, he's safe. For now, his protege. Ask yourself.
Okay, well, every time something gets destroyed, there's oxygen and gravity there. So I guess it's all oxygen and gravity's fault that accidents happen. This guy's got a really, really warped logic. This skyscraper is sure getting built quick. For some reason, there was just like an office chair and like set already up there. It'd be funny if somebody's shitting up there just middle of winter, just doing the fucking taxes or something for the chem company or some shit. Good shit. And I really wished Afterburner would update and let me actually get my clocks for this new CPU. So far, I haven't been able to do my clocks. I'm sure people have noticed that missing. But at least it lets us see percentages of all the different cores, but I would kind of like to know what they're all clocking in at, you know? But it doesn't have that option in mine. It's just not there. There's no core clocks for anything in any of Afterburner I've looked. Well, now why don't we go ahead and up the graphics to low now, and then look through all these settings here before we get back into the game. Well, there we go. Let's get back into the game now. Well, now, let's get ourselves in a little bit of some low gameplay now. Still gonna get a huge amount of FPS, I'm sure. So not only is this GPU an absolute badass, this CPU is also an absolute badass. Absolutely annihilates my old 5950X in every conceivable way, except for power usage. It definitely sucks in a lot more power, especially if you like go into the Asus motherboard and let it do some of its like advanced modes where you can kind of like not like over auto clock it, but you can kind of just like let it go up to higher clocks here and there, or sustain them a little higher or longer, from what I understood from the explanation in the BIOS screen. But yeah, luckily mine is hooked up to a custom loop, so it stays pretty chilly. Unless you're like hammering it with like a Cinebench, then it'll get into the 80s. Alright, why can I not hit you? There we go. It was being slightly different than the original game. It wouldn't let me grab him. There we go. Damn. Alright, now let's fuck you up. Maybe. I'm honestly just having a shit ton of fun watching him hold the gun in completely impossible ways. Damn, Spider-Man's strong. He can hold the whole fucking car. I keep forgetting that. Still, though, he can't hold up a bridge. for that, you would need Magneto. He can hold up a whole bridge with his magnetism as long as it's made out of metal. Anyway, though, why don't we move on? All right, let's go. Medium time now. Let's scroll through here real quick. I'm excited to get to the higher stuff with ray tracing on this thing. But first, we gotta get through the lower ones first. So, there we go. Let's get back into the game, get some gameplay. All right. Let's get some medium gameplay in. Still getting lots and lots of FPS. As it should. Yeah, I can pretty much confidently say, even if you took every console that ever existed and somehow could combine all of its GPUs into one, they still wouldn't be able to beat this one. But for $1,600, you could also buy all of the consoles almost that ever existed and then have money left over. So there's arguments from both sides on that one. I'm just happy to finally be getting, like, literally, I get, like, PlayStation games now. I've been getting Xbox games the whole time. And I can emulate the Switch better than the Switch can, even on the Steam Deck. So, Nintendo really needs to come out with a new console here. But I'm sure they're cooking something up here, but I don't think it's coming out this year or probably even next year. If we see one, it'll probably be in 2025. That's just my guess. Maybe it'll be at the very end of 2024, but we'll see. Only time will tell. I'm also excited for the Steam Deck 2 already. Like, I like mine, but there's certain times I wished it had a little bit more power here and there. Like, I know no matter what, I'm probably never getting a handheld 60 FPS in every game experience, but I'd at least be able to turn it up to high at 30 or 40. That's kind of what I like to do on the Steam Deck. If I can't have my 60, I'd at least like to have some eye candy at 30 or 40. Instead of just always having it look like ass and only getting like 30 and dropping. That's just me, though. And then Switch, you don't have an option. There are no options like on PS5 or Xbox Series X. You don't get to just say, hey, I want a little more FPS. It's like, no. The fact that this is running on this at all is an astonishing accomplishment. So be happy with what you've got. With stuff like Crisis Remastered and stuff. There they are. I was like, where the fuck are they? I'm gonna fucking turn you guys into nutcracker. You guys are all zappified. Oh, it finally hit me. No, you're not. There we go. You're all fucked. Now, high. So we're finally going to start getting some pretty good graphics now. So let's just cruise through these really quick, and then we'll get back into the game. And look at that. Already at the bottom, so it's already time to get back into the game. Here we go with some high gameplay. I almost said graphics settings. We already got through the graphics settings. Now it's time for the gameplay. So let's get some high gameplay. And let's get up into the sky here and just zoom around the city. Still getting a huge amount of FPS. I have it dropped down to 116, so that's like one of the first times I've seen it drop under like my 4K TV's native hertz. But with G-Sync, I wouldn't even notice that if I didn't have one of these freaking afterburner things up in the corner. G-Sync may not be a miracle worker, but it sure does help a fuck ton. Oh, here you are. Yes, Spider-Man, I am here. I'm here to play. Oh, you missed. And you missed, too. Oh, there's guys coming up from the frickin' woodworks. Never say never. That's a weird noise. I guess my whatchamacallit turned on. I turned around and I hit my headphones on the microphone there. Well, we beat up all those guys.
Yeah, that sounded good.
Oop, smashed myself into a wall there. Okay, though, we got through it. Yep, it really is. Alright, though, why don't we stop here and move on? Here we are with some very high settings now, so scroll through them we will. And then this is a game we must. Game we go. Well, now here's some very high gameplay. Nice, and it seems like we still get a huge amount of FPS. It's probably the ray tracing that's going to bring us under 100. Although that might not even bring us under 100. That'd be cool if we could stay above 100 FPS all the time, even with ray tracing and no DLSS or frame generation or nothing. Be dope.
So now's a great time to donate to your local shelter. Till next time, remember to check your...
Oh, 409 is going to be 420 soon. Oh, people are getting into a bidding war over my 30 or EVGA 3080 for the win. I had it sold, but somebody tried to scam me. Like, the red flags were astonishing. There was like 100 red flags. Okay, so they made their account the day of, which, you know, I understand that's still a red flag to me, but I understand everybody has to, you know, start somewhere, and they might have just saw the GPU and be like, oh man, I want that, make an eBay account. So I can forgive that one. But then everything after that was like, all right, well, the second after they won, like 10 minutes later, they sent me a message without anything typed out, mind you. It was just a message with a picture, and in the picture it said, hi, friend, the item that I recently bought an item from you, but I'm moving out of town to help my sick father in a completely different state and whatnot. And I'm like, no, already, even if that were true, you would have just typed it out, and the last thing I'd be doing if I had to help my fucking father out is buy a fucking GPU. Like, oh, I have to help nurse you back to health, Dad. Well, too bad. I'm gonna bring my computer with me and fucking own some noobs. Like, what the fuck? So, none of that added up whatsoever. And I just told them basically in a message, I don't ship to unconfirmed addresses, and I never heard a thing back from them for like 3 or 4 days. So I was like, yeah, I figured as much. They were just hoping I would ship it off willy-nilly. Nope. Because then they probably would have just been like, either they had a stolen credit card and they didn't care, or they were going to try to pull that shit where it was like, all right, well, I didn't get the product, so I got the product and all of the money. And I'm not going to let that happen. So I was like, nope. Cancel order, and I put it back on for another 7 days, so someone else can hopefully buy it and not do the same thing. I will not be ripped off. No, no. Anyway, let's go back to the top of these buildings here, and after we get to the top of this one, I think we can go ahead and move on to some ray tracing. Well, now we're going to turn some ray tracing on, so let's go through here. We got it on, and very high ray trace shadows and all that stuff. And there we are, we're at the bottom. So let's go see how ray tracing fares. Well, all right, here we go. Miles Morales with ray tracing and at 4K. On a very high as well, with no frame generation or DLSS. And yep, we are dropping under 100, I figured. But I don't think we'll drop under 60. We can close, but I don't think it'll ever happen, except for maybe going in between like cutscenes or something, kind of like in the beginning with the laptop. I remember at the training mission with other like fake people, it would drop down to like 84 for like a split second, just like during a little cutscene. So I don't count that as, oh well, it dropped, so it's unplayable. Like I don't play movies, so I don't care what cutscenes are, as long as they're not 16 FPS like the Steam Deck was doing. That's a little too much. A little too low, more like. But yeah, that's pretty cool. Now me, I'd personally still turn DLSS on. Not frame generation, though. I can't, unfortunately, use that one because I like to not have screen tearing, and you can't use VSync, so I could always try limiting it in Afterburner or in the driver, I guess. But then that'd probably fuck it up and make it do some goofy shit, but it's still worth a try, I guess, instead of using VSync. Because, regardless, VSync does add latency. I just use it because when I just had G-Sync on, I was still getting screen tearing. Ha! You guys both got fucking owned. And an uppercut for... Now we're going to turn on that DLSS frame generation thing. We're not turning on any other anything else, though. We're just going to see how it does. Obviously, you could still combine it with DLSS if you wanted even more FPS. But I figured we'd just see how it does by itself. So, let's move on. Alright, now we're going to have some DLSS frame generation gameplay here. And you can definitely tell it worked. We were like in the 80s, 90s. Now we're up into like 120. And I'm sitting here looking for imperfections, and if I like watch Spider-Man himself, I can see like weird little artifacts and whatnot, but again, if I was actually just playing this, not watching myself play, I don't think I'd honestly notice any of this shit. But that's just me. It's just something people can turn on and use if they want or not. I don't usually use it, like I said, because I like having no screen tearing. Screen tearing pisses me off. Except for in first-person shooters. I don't have time for it to piss me off because I'm too busy trying to either shoot somebody in their face or prevent my face from being shot in the face. Anyway, though, let's just swing around a little bit more here just for fun.
Today I have the honor of welcoming Roxxon Energy's head of R&D, Simon Creed.
And I don't really notice the huge latency penalty that it gives, at least in a game like this. But I'm going to keep trying it in games. I have to wait until there's a first-person shooter to probably really notice.
Well, first off, Jonah, let me say what an honor and a pleasure it is to be on your show.
Oh, well, I'm blushing.
And yeah, you're right. We've had some resistance, most notably from Rio Morales, who
There's a little stutter.
looks to be a new city
Anyway,
council member.
moving on. All right, now we're going to do just DLSS without the frame generation, and we're going to start off on quality. So let's just look through all of the settings here. I'm leaving it maxed out, ray tracing on, all that good stuff. Because, I mean, this is a 4090. It should be able to handle it. And this is honestly probably how I would play the game on this computer. I'd probably just turn up field of view and all that stuff too, but... Anyway, to the game. Let's get some DLSS gameplay in. Don't mind the random lag at the beginning there. That's just... That happens sometimes when I turn on Shadow Play for the first, like, millisecond or two of the video.
But
Don't know why.
I guess some people just have a hard time with change.
Let me give you some advice. One highly successful
Yeah, we still barely drop under 100, but it's not a big deal.
You and the horse you rode in on.
Well,
What am I looking for
okay,
here? I do
admire
not see a
your
problem.
conviction.
There's supposed to be
You're,
bad guys here, but I'm not seeing bad
afraid
guys.
to pay a fine in order to make,
Where are they?
your point.
What's
Fine.
happening?
What do you mean? Jared, how much? Do your editing thing, quick!
Alright, let's go around in here. Maybe it's like, I don't even know. There gotta be something going on, though.
Huh?
Hey, I'm hearing that the
Huh.
underground hijacked a billboard near you.
So it's a billboard, okay. Well, how do I... Oh, okay. That makes sense. I should be pressing that button more fucking often. That's my own fault.
I can lock on to it. I think I can find where the underground
Why?
is locating the source.
And there we go.
Got it. I'm locked on.
Fixed. And now we're supposed to find it, huh? Alright, now it's time to move on to DLSS Balanced. So, let's go through the settings here really quickly. Still on very high. Ray tracing is still on and all that good stuff too. And alright, let's go see how it does. Now we will get some DLSS Balanced gameplay now.
Why take over a billboard? Is it intimidation?
Nope, nope. I went the wrong way. Oh well, I completely forgot about that fucking mission. It's fun swinging through the city though with ray tracing on and everything. Alright, time to move on. Alright, now for DLSS performance. So, to the settings we will go. And alright, that is the bottom. Now here we go with some DLSS performance. And apparently my GPU is up to 300 already. Last time I got 560, which I thought was good. Even if I don't get that again, that's alright. I mean, lots of new GPUs just came out and more to come, so can't expect people to want something that only has 10 gigs of VRAM. Unless it's for the right price. But I just figured I'd do that because neither one of my friends want it. Because they're in the situation where if they bought that off me or if I even gave it to them, which I'd probably just give it to them at this rate, they would have to redo their whole computer or it'd be pointless. They would barely get any more. Oh, that was my own fighting. I dodged my own goddamn mang. I thought it was a sniper bullet. But yeah, they have like a 7700K and an 8700K. Like they'd get barely any more performance. And I think one of them, the one with the 7700K has surprisingly the 3070, and then the one with the 8700K has a 2070. So obviously the one with the 3070 is a little mismatched. That one needs a CPU upgrade like ASAP. If he just upgraded like a Ryzen 5000, he'd be like in business. Or an Intel 12th gen or whatever. Alright, last up, some ultra performance DLSS, and this didn't even work at all on my secondary computer for whatever reason. It just kept crashing over and over and over again. It was very strange. But anyway, hopefully it can do it on this computer. It's probably just something going on with the GPU or something. Anyway, and here we go. DLSS. Ultra performance. Let's cruise around the city a little bit here, as long as it doesn't crash. Last time it would have already crashed by now, so I have some pretty high hopes here. Not like it looks very good. I mean, it could look worse, doesn't look horrid. But I can definitely tell something's going on. I wouldn't want to play like this, not on 4K on a computer like this. But the amount of FPS it's getting is pretty intense, but on this GPU, instead of doing that, you could just turn on the frame generation and deal with some frickin' whatchamacallits. Screen tearing, you know? A lot of people probably don't even care about that. No punch. I only punch you. You no punch me.
These dudes went pretty wild out here.
Fuck you, Pole. Well, alright guys, that is a wrap for Spider-Man Miles Morales, and this computer obviously handled it flawlessly. Only times it dropped under 60 is when I was turning on the, shadow play. And it would do that maybe for a couple milliseconds, and then it would be super fast. I am pretty freaking happy with this computer. It is absolutely an awesome thing. It may be expensive, but in my opinion, absolutely worth it. But anyway, I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and until the next one, peace out, guys.